Hello everyone and welcome back to another day of Road to TCG World 2017. Now today we are going to be using Mega Rayquaza. There's been a lot of talk about this deck lately. It has an okay matchup against the TCG Valplum because it can have this explosive turns where you one-hit KO the CDY. You can pressure the opponent like anything your opponent has. You can pressure really easily, and you have the double Hex, which with the 4 Shaymin and Oranguru and 4 Transmail and 4 Ultra Ball, it seems like a pretty good engine to be able to abuse the 2 Hex Maniac or the Hex Maniac chain, and if you're able to do that, you should secure the matchup fairly confidently. So that's why this deck is a strong choice at the moment, with the TCG Valplum getting all the hype still. So let's review the deck, shall we? Now, I've played Mega Rayquaza a few times over the years in the channel, but 220 HP, pretty nice number. It's just 10 above the 2010 HP mark, which is great. Emerald Break, 30 damage for every Pokemon on your bench, which when combined with Skyfield, which allows you to have up to 8 bench Pokemon, that's pretty good because you get to deal up to 240 damage. A 3-3 line of Mega Ray, that's the main and pretty much only attacker, although you do have Magearna-EX, which can sometimes put in the work when attacking. 160 HP is nothing to write home about, but the ability is always nice to prevent random things like damage change, like Jirachi's Stardust, like random paralysis, and Soul Blaster does a very decent amount of damage for the energy cost. Next turn we only deal half, but you usually attack with Magearna once, so you can afford to do that. And we also have Genesect-EX. Now Genesect-EX, its main purpose is not to attack, it requires 3 metal energy and we only run 4. So finding all 3 of them, or rather finding 3 out of 4 of them to attach to Genesect is not very likely. But the ability Drive Change allows you to avoid discarding things like Floatstone or things like Spirit Links before you have a good target to attach them to, like through Sycamore. And you can manage your tools a lot better, because if Genesect has a Floatstone attached, that means anything on your bench or anything that gets dragged up to the active slot can retreat. So it eliminates the Lysander style strategy. Now, if item lock is going on, obviously that's a whole other scenario. But with Genesect having a Floatstone, you can always prevent that, as long as you can play item cards. And you also get to save your Spirit Link so that you don't lose the turn when Mega evolving. So that's Genesect's main purpose for being here. Aside from that, we have the 2 Hoopa, which is pretty good. We have the 4 Shaymin, which is amazing, in order to draw as many cards as possible, and increase Mega Ray's damage output. And also, since our stadiums are going to get countered and we are going to lose a lot of basic Pokemon in the we have 2 Dragonite-EX to precisely get those back. Hyper Beam is also not the worst attack in the world. Dealing 130 damage and discarding an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon seems pretty decent. So in a very rare case, that's actually another option you do have. And yeah, this is Trainer Chip's list, which he has used to win a couple of League Cups, I believe, maybe just one. The one thing that generally surprises me, is no special charge. That generally surprises me. Either you normally run either special charge or Puzzle of Time in order to recover resources. He's choosing to run neither, and instead he has the 3 Mega Turbos, the 4 Ultra Ball, Trainer's Mail, and 4 Verseeker, the double Hex, and Olympia, which is great under item lock as well, in order to prevent something getting locked in the active spot. But he has a reduced count of Spirit Links, and like I said, no way to recover DCEs, so attaching energy is going to be crucial, losing energy is going to be very detrimental. And so we have to make the best use of our Mega Turbos, our DCEs, and that Super Rod. So that's gonna be the deck. now let's jump into the ladder so that we can try it out, shall we? I'll filter by metal to find it easier. There we go, Mega Ray. So yeah, I wanted to thank you guys so much for the support that the channel has been receiving. I can tell you guys did enjoy the daily content, which I'm very happy to see the feedback about that. And last week was definitely a good week for the channel, so I'm hoping April now with daily content will be our best month ever, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Now, lightning, fire, water, and darkness can only mean Umbreon with the evolutions. It's the only thing that it can be. Okay, so we get a weird-ish start. Gonna have to promote Dragonite so that I can Hoopa, otherwise I'd pretty much be dead drawing. I am going first though, so this is where we are up against an Umbreon Hammers deck, so we have to be even more careful with our energy. Like, every energy attachment has to count. Every single energy attachment has to count. Losing basic energies is not that big a deal because we do have Mega Turbos, but the 4 DC are going to be absolutely crucial. So there we do see the EV, so and we top deck a Hex, so we can chain Hex here. I'm a bit tempted to grab 2 Shaymins, but I think I'm gonna grab 2 Rays and 1 Shaymin. I can play down a ton of cards, and what we're mostly looking for, I mean, we do have the Olympia already, so we could either Hex my opponent or play the Olympia. Maybe going for the Olympia is better. Now I do decide to play the Transmail here before Shaymin because I'm okay in terms of supporter cards. Gonna attach that there. I guess I'll go for the Olympia, and that way if I get end, I already have the Olympia in the discard pile, so I can reuse it through Versus Seeker. And I actually wouldn't mind my opponent evolving. I actually wouldn't mind that. I'm not gonna use the Trainer's Mail just yet because I might want to dig just a little bit deeper for an Ultra Ball perhaps, to find another Hoopa, which I should have checked if it's in there, which I don't know. Or in case we do get end, we still have the Trainer's Mail to find things. I want him to evolve simply because I'd rather take 2 prizes against an Umbreon than just the 1. It's very likely he would use Strafe in order to go back to his bench. But he uses a turn 1 Lily for 3 cards and immediately concedes. Okay, so my opponent dead drew pretty badly right there, which is unfortunate. We had a pretty good start. We definitely had a pretty good start. And let's see if this next game can be just a little bit better, right? Just a little bit better. The Olympia versus Hex. I mean, I guess if I was playing in a tournament, I probably would have played the Hex over the Olympia, simply because that would have put a ton of pressure on my opponent. Like, without seeing the previous screen and not knowing what kind of deck my opponent was using, maybe he wasn't running Shaymin, maybe he was, but by playing the Hex I would have prevented that, so I would have prevented a very explosive start from him, and it would have been good. I think it would have been good. Okay. Rayquaza start, Genesect on the bench. We have N, we have Shaymin, we have Trainer's Mail, so we're pretty set here. We're actually pretty set. And We are going first, so we actually don't mind too much Mega Evolving on losing the turn. We do see a Taurus right in front of us. So, I'm gonna Trainer's Mail. Ultra Ball. And we do see another Ray, so that's important. I think I can discard one Rayquaza without worrying too much. And I think, without knowing what my opponent is using, I will probably want to Hex to finish my turn. So I'm gonna grab Hoopa. With Hoopa, I'm going to grab 2 Rays, or just 1 Ray and Magearna. Probably the second Ray. Nothing on my opponent's side of the field says that I need Magearna out. And obviously I won't Hex before I Shaymin. Obviously. And okay, so we do find a Float Stone, which I will attach to Genesect. We do find another Hex, which is okay. No energy though. So there is an argument to play the N. There is an argument to play the N because of that. Is it better to try to find an energy? Maybe it is. Let's go for it. That's what my God is telling me, that I should try to find energy instead of just settling with what I have right now. I do find energy, which is great. I find a Hex and I find a Trainer's Mail. So we're gonna rely a ton on the Hex. And that's it. No need to play my Stadium either, in case we are up against a 4 Stadium type of deck. I do want to win the Stadium War eventually. So that's why I didn't play it down. But I will probably play it down the next turn. I have to be so careful with the DCs though. So careful. Oh boy, I was about to say. Okay, so it's a Tsareena deck. Now based on this new information, Trainer's Mail gives us an Ultra Ball or the Spirit Link. I definitely need the Spirit Link here more, I think. So I'm gonna lose one of the precious DCEs against a Luck kind of deck, which I'm obviously not a fan, but I feel like I should be in a pretty good position to KO that Taurus. I mean, I do need a full bench. I do need 3 more basic Pokemon and the Mega Ray, which I get 2 of them, so okay, so we're not gonna KO that Taurus unless I get an Ultra Ball here or a Mega Ray plus a basic Pokemon. Seems unlikely. Possible, but unlikely. I do get 1 basic Pokemon, and I'm gonna Intensifying Burn because my opponent is not an EX. I only deal 10 damage, and that means I only need 7 basic Pokemon instead of all 8. So that's not a terrible thing to see at this point in time. My opponent does find a Sycamore. It's likely that he will be able to find a Forest of Giant Plants off of the Sycamore, and therefore I will have to discard some benched Pokemon. Okay, so we do see Tsareena, Devolution Spray, Trainer's Mail, Fighting Fury Belt. We see another Fighting Fury Belt there. Wait. Why didn't he play the Forest of Giant Plants? That makes no sense. What conceivable reason could he have to not have played the Forest of Giant Plants? I genuinely don't know. There's no reason. Maybe that was a misplay. definitely argue that was a misplay. Now, because of the threat of Serena, I have to keep a lot of resources in my hand, potentially. Why would you discard the stadium without playing it? That makes no sense. That actually makes no sense. Okay. So we don't get a great top deck. Gonna lose another energy recovery resource right here. I will Shaymin for one card, I guess. And it's gonna be a Lysander. I mean, I could go after the Steenie. Is that worth it? I would discard 3 cards though. I'm gonna go for the Sycamore. Gonna lose a stadium, which I'm not a huge fan of, and Olympia, Hex, etc. But I still should have, yeah, 2 more Verse Seekers. And I don't find one of my 3 Ultra Balls or one of my 2 Mega Rays. Wow. Wow. That's very bad. I'm not gonna lie. That's really, really bad. Wow. You've got to be kidding me. Well, that was definitely not part of the plan. Serena evolves and she gets to see my hand and discard a card from it. So she's probably looking at it right now. I think the best discard here would be the Super Rod. But she chooses to go for the Dragonites. Okay, now there's the TCG, there's a Lily. I mean, unless she wanted the stadium to play down like a ton of Serena. And the next card was the Ultra Ball, of course. Okay. So we don't really need the Float Stone here. I'll get rid of the Oranguru as well. Let's grab the Mega Ray. Now let's get our 2 prizes, which we were due from the previous turn, definitely. And let's Emerald Break for the knockout. 240 damage, perfect. Okay, so a turn later than I would have liked it to be, but that's fine, I guess. We're still threatening any sort of Taurus, and next turn we should have Stadium still, and we have the Super Rod, because if he does counter Stadium me right now, I can recover some basic Pokemon, although if she finds another Serena, that's gonna be an issue. Okay, you see another Bounce Beat. There's a Trainer's Mail. There's an Ultra. Still no Stadium inside though, and Lily and N. No disruption either. No hammers. No. No hammers. No enhanced hammer. No grunts. Either Team Skull or Team Flare. No Stadium Seal. Okay, so there's the first enhanced. So that's 2 DC gone. Okay, so I'm gonna discard this guy and 2 of the Shaymins. There's this Arena though. Probably going to target the DCE. Yep. That's a problem. That's a problem because of our Mega Turbos. And there's another Serena. Yikes. Probably the Sycamore. Yep. Okay. Now we're in trouble. Okay, that Mega Ray top deck is nice though. Three DC in the discard pile. Okay, I'm gonna play the Super Rod before she can discard it, and I'm gonna put back. Probably don't need a third Mega Ray. I'm gonna put back Oranguru, Hoopa, and Dragonite, because Dragonite finds me the two Shaymin. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to retreat, and I'm going to play a Mega Turbo on the active. Might seem a bit too much. Now we're down to top deck mode. There's still one more Sycamore, two more Verse Seekers, and one N. So we have 4 outs, but he passes as well, and we actually top deck the Verse Seeker. Okay, so I don't want to N. Definitely don't want to N. It sucks that I lose the Mega Turbo, but I think I have to here. I mean, I could potentially just knock out the Taurus, and I will knock out the Taurus, but that's gonna be my last DCE. Now it's really good that we have the insurance of Genesect, that he can't just, I don't know why I keep saying she, that he can't just Lysandre to stall, and I still need to bench another Pokemon. I guess I'll bench the Hoopa then. Sure, I'll search my deck. There's a 1 energy. That means 1 energy is in the prizes as well. We still have 1 N, we have 1 Verse Seeker, so we should be good. Should have enough anti-deck up measures as well, which is obviously great. And we get the clean knockout here. And we don't even, like, even if he counters stadiums, we can target Shaymins, and that was probably the most beautiful 2 prizes we could have gotten, because Lysandre means we win, my opponent doesn't end us, and the basic energy means we can take a knockout even if he removes an energy. I keep saying she because of Serena. Serena figures like a female type of Pokemon. Okay, decides to play a switch, promote Shaymin, and Sky Return. So that's game. That is game. Something got into my eye. But yeah, interesting deck by my opponent. Way too passive, I would say, in terms of very little disruption. He had Enhanced Hammers, but it didn't seem like he had Team Flare Grunt, it didn't seem like he had Team Skull Grunt, it didn't seem like he had... what else? Didn't seem like he had hammers, like the regular hammers, which I'm not a huge fan of the card, but in that kind of deck you would expect it to. But because you are running at a stage 2, a disrupting stage 2, that kind of makes things a little bit more difficult, for sure. So Pixups is calling the coin flip this time around. Let's see who goes first. And there's always the possibility that we get those crazy turn 1s with Rayquaza, where you get a turn 1 knockout. It's not common, especially without compressor, but it is possible. but we definitely want to go first because the turn 1 knockout is so unlikely, and we get a pretty good start. We definitely get a pretty good start. There's a balance here between going for a setup or just mega evolving straight away. We do see a Mewtwo, but we do top deck Hoopa, so that's pretty nice. That top deck was great. I don't know what kind of deck my opponent is using. We do see one regular Rayquaza is prized. So, with that information, I'll grab these guys. And I think I'm just gonna attach Mega Evolve and pass. I mean, using Shaymin for 1 makes no sense, so I'll just go for this and end my turn. Pretty conservative turn. We could have end for sure. Okay, we are up against the Yveltal Mewtwo. I have to assume Yveltal Garb Mewtwo? That would be my guess. That would definitely be my guess. With the elixir, which is good news for us. And doesn't seem to be getting too big of a, or too much of an explosive start either. So I might want to not end here. I might choose not to end. Oh, okay, no, never mind. There's an Ultra Ball. There's an Ultra Ball. For Shaymin, so no Hoopa. Azul has been playing an Yveltal list with Hoopa and 4 Yveltal EX, so kind of like a Turbo Dark engine, but with an Yveltal focus, of course. We get a Floatstone. Now we want a DC, right? That's what we want to get a KO. Lysander DC would just be absolutely beautiful here. Would I even want to play the Ultra? Probably not. I'll keep it in my hand. I guess I could end. I think it'd be good to try to make sure we can set up for a KO on that Yveltal next turn. Wow. This hand is actually atrocious. And I do get a KO, right? No, I don't even get a KO. Wow. Wow. This is bad. Okay. So at least we find the Trainer's Mail. We probably won't want to Sycamore all of this away. I do get one prize card. Unfortunate because my opponent does decide to play the 7 prize game. He can at this point in time. He definitely can. Fighting Fury Belt. So now I need 2 more basic Pokemon. Now I need 2 more basic Pokemon, which I do have, but I don't have the stadium. So off of this Trainer's Mail, finding either a Versus Seeker or a Skyfield would be really cool. My opponent does discard Garbodor and Ninja Boy, so we have to be aware of the Taurus threat. Goes for another Yveltal. Plays a Max Elixir, and the last card will surely be a Sycamore or an N. Or a Shaymin. Yeah, that works too. That definitely works too. Another Elixir. Whiffed, so he's 1 for 3 in Elixirs. Which is obviously not great. There's another Yveltal EX. Oh boy. Okay. Now I really need the sky field more than anything. Now the sky field is really crucial. Soulstone and Sycamore. A sky field would probably be close to game ending. No sky field and forcing me to Sycamore would be very detrimental, but I do find the sky field nice. I mean, I haven't played any yet, so it wasn't out of the realm of possibilities. And now I go crazy. And I pick back up these two. Now I have more than enough to KO. Gonna play the Hoopa. The other Ray is priced. We knew that. So I'm actually not gonna grab any Pokemon right here. I just wanted to see my deck, I guess. I'm gonna play the Olympia. It doesn't really matter. Well, maybe playing the Hex is better. I would love to find an energy or at least a Spirit Link. Either of those would be really nice. And I find neither. Okay. I do find a Versiker though. Okay, so we're gonna get our KO here if I didn't miscount. To 10, yep. We find a Ray and we find the energy we wanted. Now another energy means our Ray does go down. So there's nothing we can do about that. I think my best play is to N, so I don't lose the Mega Turbos. I can lose one Mega Turbo, but I can't lose both. I can Ultra Ball next turn, the Mega Turbo and the Hex, find Oranguru and N, and therefore I have, like, I can still get out of it next turn, but I'm probably gonna have to buy myself a turn. Which is not the end of the world, but obviously not the ideal situation. The healing 30 damage doesn't matter. I mean, I guess it matters because he can't Y-Cyclone now. He has to Evil Ball. And wow, he just outright goes for another Sycamore. Okay. And there's the Fright Night Yveltal, which could actually be very problematic. Okay. So Evil Balls for the knockout. A Mega Ray top deck here would be incredible. Or rather a Spirit Link, I meant to say. But nope. Okay. I generally don't know what's the right play. I do think it's this one. I grab Oranguru. And do I bench the other Ray? Do I Sycamore? I'm gonna N. I'm not sold that this is the best play. See, I could get a Shaymin, so I'm not gonna play down the Ray. It's very unlikely that he will one-hit KO my Mega Rayquaza. Wow, okay. This is difficult. Because losing both stadiums, I wouldn't lose them. I think I should wait though. The thing is, if that guy comes up, I'm in a lot of trouble. If that guy comes up, I'm in a lot of trouble. The Fright Night Veltal, so I'm gonna go for the Shaymin play. Losing the two stadiums is huge though. And that's definitely not what I wanted to see here. I mean, is dealing 70 damage worth it? Is dealing 70 damage worth it? That's the question here. I don't think it is. Maybe I should have used Oranguru before playing down the Shaymin? Always together, the Sycamores and the Versus Seekers. Always together. Okay. So we're not gonna see the Fright Night this turn. We might see a White Cyclone this time around. We will probably see a White Cyclone this time around. And we see another Sycamore. Yep. White Cyclone transferring the DCE to Fright Night, I would assume. No, to the other Veltal EX, okay. Man, what are these hands? Okay, I'm just gonna have to go for it. Okay. We get the triple Mega Ray threat. The triple Mega Ray threats. Okay. So now, he definitely can trap me with 30 Veltal, but because I still should have 3 TC left, 2 might be priced, I generally don't know, and I should have been checking. 2 Berserker were priced, so now we have 2 outs, Olympia and TCE to retreat whatever he does decide to promote active, except for the Dragonite though, because Dragonite has a 3 retreat cost. Or the Berserker can become, yeah. If he Lysanders up Dragonite, we need the Versus Seekers. If he Lysanders up anything else, we can TCE retreat. And even with another TCE that's 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, he won't get a KO. So Mega Ray would have been able to finish off the game. So we struggled a little bit. We managed to pull through in the end. Maybe I was a bit too conservative with those Zens, or with the N at the beginning. But yeah, that's Mega Ray. Pretty good deck at the moment. Definitely a pretty good deck. A viable tournament choice if you, for standard and for expanded as well. And yeah, I mean, we didn't face the City of Alplum, which is obviously the deck that is on everybody's mind. But the deck can defend itself. That's what you're gonna do. You can defend yourself, especially with the basic Rayquaza-EX dealing 70 damage for 1 energy to a Lugia-EX. That's pretty good. Most of the lists have now dropped Taurus, so you don't have to worry about that. And you can 2-hit KO Shaymins, you can 3-hit KO Lugias. The CGI, of course, is the big issue, but eventually you should be able to find like that one big Rayquaza hit. So it's not too bad, and you do have a wide array of supporter cards. So that's gonna be it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like on the video if you can. It really helps out the channel. Share it on groups and things if you want. That also really helps, so it gets more visibility. We are well on our way to get to 8,000 subscribers, which blows my mind, and I'm really happy about that. And yeah, thank you guys so much for helping me leave the Poke dream. I will see you guys tomorrow for some Mega Gardevoir action. Thank you guys, and bye bye.